Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today I have something fancy for you guys. Something fancy from Ecco. Let's open up the box and see what we have. Today we have the fancy boots from Ecco called Track 25 GORE-TEX. Yes, high-rise, waterproof boots. Check these things out. 100% leather. I have to say, even considering the very pricey price tag, very pricey price tag, yes. It has quite a lot of these boots, that is, have quite a lot of reviews on Amazon. Amazon link is in the description below. Over 800 reviews for almost 5 stars. I mean, that is very, very impressive at the price tag of $225. Yes, because the higher the price tag, the higher the expectations that we have for the product, obviously. So if you're interested, stick around. You're gonna learn a lot more during this review, because this is not a regular boot review. No, this review specifically for my ultimate survival boot section. Basically, if these weren't just your fancy hiking boots, right? 100% leather, GORE-TEX waterproofing, but something bad happened. Something bad happened and now you're surviving. You had to walk for miles to get to safe destination. You had to run on the way. You had to fight. You had to do just a whole bunch of different things, all right, for your survival. Just think of your survival situation. Would these be good for your survival, or would they get you killed? Well, how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin with the criteria number 1, comfort level. Of course, in order to test the comfort level, I do 3-mile run, 5-mile walk right after, and I continue wearing till it's 8 hours total wear time. Okay, and I do the run and the walk through different terrains, but we'll talk about the terrains later. Like I said, I am quite, I don't know if I said it already or not, but I am quite impressed with the comfort level of these boots. Surprisingly, when I opened up the box, I was like, yeah, this is not my favorite kind. And then I started wearing them, and I started walking in them, I started running in them, and I kept wearing them, and I was like, wow, this is actually really, really good. There are a few factors that contribute to the comfort level. Let's start with the first one, the weight. This is size 10, all right, and the size 10 is, should I guess? Well, I would say about 19 ounce? 19, maybe 20 ounce. Let's see. 22.3. So definitely a little bit on the heavier side, because I mean, you know, if you watched any of my boot reviews, you already know that kind of that gold standard is about 20 ounce. Over 20 ounce, you get into heavier category. Under 20 ounce, you get into lightweight category. But this is full size boot that is 100% leather and with GORE-TEX waterproofing. So keep that in mind. For those features, 22, that's really, really impressive. I have to say, that is definitely very impressive. There are a few other things that contribute to the comfort level. Another one would be the flexibility of the outsole. And here, as you can see, while it is definitely stiff enough for some tough mountaineering hikes, we will talk about the outsole later though, it still has decent amount of flexibility, and the creasing spots over here, they are very nice and very soft, so it does not take away from the comfort level. Moving further into the inner sole, I'm gonna take it out. It's actually really fancy inner sole. I'm gonna show it to you. Check this thing out. Gotta say, I never seen anything like this before, because this is actually leather covered. Yes, it's your very nice jelly type of sponge that is often used in the inner soles, but it is leather covered. Yes, there is no heel bed here, but there's very distinct arch support. So you definitely have that. If you appreciate arch support, you're gonna like that. As you can see, it does have ventilation holes, so overall with the breathability, pretty good. I have to say, this is very interesting. I haven't seen anything like this before, but it feels really, really nice. Now let's talk about some padding. We have some padding in the tongue over here, some padding in the shaft, not a lot of padding though. So if you do prefer more padding, you probably should shop around a little bit more. But if you are, you know, if this feels good to you, not too much of the padding, if you prefer a little bit stiffer feel, you're gonna like these quite a lot. Okay, so down with the comfort level. Overall, I have to say, very good, very good comfort level. Let's talk about criteria number 2 now: proofing and protection. So proofing wise, this is GORE-TEX waterproofing. This is as good as it gets. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, you definitely know GORE-TEX. GTX, it's the choice of anybody who is serious about their hiking, camping, backpack, whatever kind of outdoor stuff that you do. You know that GORE-TEX is one of the best. It's great waterproofing technology. It's also lightweight, it's also breathable, and it's also expensive. All right, so keep in mind, that's for the price tag. One of the reasons why the price tag is quite high. Here, I wanted to demonstrate the gusseting. It doesn't go as high as the length of the full shaft, but it does go as high as the GORE-TEX lining, which doesn't go all the way up to the full length of the shaft. It's about 2 inches below it. As you can see, there's this darker black, and there's this a little bit, I know it's hard to see on the camera, but you can see kind of 2 shades of black, and this darker black is where the GORE-TEX is. Above it, there is no GORE-TEX waterproofing. All right, so keep that in mind. You have about, what is it, like 4.5, 5 inches of clearance if if you're walking through some creek or puddles, I don't know, whatever you're walking through, whatever wet stuff you're walking through. Overall, though, pretty good. I mean, it's really hard to go wrong with GORE-TEX. Now, protection wise, overall, I mean, the toe box is pretty soft, although because it's leather, you do have those durability qualities of leather. Overall, I mean, it feels solid. It's built like, it's built like a tank. This is just fantastic, just fantastic. And you have plenty of protection from the outsole, but we'll talk about all of it later. Obviously, you have protection in the shaft because you have the shaft in this case. But let's move on to the criteria number 3, quality and the design features. Quality wise, Ecco, everybody knows Ecco. They're a fantastic brand, excellent quality products. Most of the products are made in Slovakia, like these boots right here. Overall, if you check out the reviews on Amazon, specifically on this one, check them out. I recommend it. The link is in the description below. Just click on it, and while you're listening to me ramble about this, random features and all that sort of stuff, you can read through some reviews. 800 plus reviews on the boot that is over $200. I have to say that is extremely impressive. Now, design features, usually I talk about the lacing system. Lacing system here is very good. It's a thicker, very tough lace string. I do like this quite a lot. If you watched any of my videos, you already know. There are 4 pairs of closed hooks, as you can see. There's a ring, there are bigger rings, which I do like quite a lot because the lace slides through these very easily. It's really easy to tighten these boots. Then you also have another closed one, which kind of looks like an open, but it is actually closed hook, as you can see here. They're all metal, and then there is 1 pair of open hooks. If you are, for hiking situations, it's great. If you're going downhill, it's very easy to, tighten or loosen up your tension up top here, which is very convenient, again, for a hiking situation. But let's move on to the criteria number 4 now: outsole, traction and stability. So whenever I do my run and my walk, I do it on a variety of different surfaces. I do, pavement, sand, dry sand, wet sand, dry grass, wet grass, rocky road, marble, tile, trail surface, rubber, just whole bunch of stuff. All right, everything that I can find. And this handles very well on a lot of things. It's a little bit slippery on the wet grass just because it's used on quite a lot of boots, this particular type of rubber, and it's some kind of thermoplastic polyurethane. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm not some major in chemistry or anything like that, but I personally am not a fan. For my hiking, outdoors, whatever situations, I'm not a fan of this type of rubber. I prefer more, the regular rubber that is, black rubber, like used on the tires, I guess, for the cars. I'm not sure what kind of, I probably need to do more research into the different kinds of rubber that is used in the outsole. Having a channel where I review boots would be nice. But This one is not my favorite just because it has those slippery qualities, especially when it is wet. On the wet grass, you definitely do have some slippery moments, especially in this area, as you can see, because it's completely blank, it's completely flat. However, overall there is decent amount of aggression. These grooves are not as aggressive as they look. Honestly, I think this outsole could have been better if these grooves were a little bit more aggressive than they are. Again, for most of the applications it will be fine, but keep in mind on surfaces like wet grass, you might be slippery. All right. Okay, that was the outsole. Let's move on to the criteria number 5, temperature. So, while this doesn't have the insulation, while it's not really advertised as a winter boot or anything like that, it is still waterproof, alright? It's 100% leather, so if you implement some good quality socks, merino wool socks, you will have, you can get away in some pretty cold temperatures. I would say, in, mid 30s, maybe even some lower 30s, you will do just fine. All right, these after all do have GORE-TEX waterproofing, so if you're walking through snow, the only thing is it might be slippery on, it will definitely be slippery on icy surfaces, which most of the stuff will be, honestly, unless you're wearing crampons. but now with this boot, at least, not the semi-automatic ones, but whatever, it's a whole different conversation. But for warmer temperatures, pretty good. For hot temperatures, you might find yourself a little bit, hot summer days, overheating a little bit, just because it is waterproof, less breathability, and 100% leather. Obviously not as breathable as fabric, but still you can find a way to balance it out. Let's move on to the criteria number 6, sizing. These do run a little bit on the bigger size, so I would recommend sticking to your normal shoe size, or maybe even considering going half a size smaller. Okay, done with that. Let's move on to the criteria number 7 now, balance of application. So if this really were your ultimate survival boots, not just hiking boots, but ultimate survival boots, would they be good? Would they help you survive? I think one of the best features about this boot is the way it looks. I am honestly now, after reviewing this boot, after testing it out, I am strongly considering something like this for my ultimate survival situations, because I do have a fancy hiking, it's also GORE-TEX, it's mid-size waterproof boot, right, with fancy outsole. I tested it out on a lot of hikes, it's great. But here's the thing, I cannot really wear it on daily basis just because the way it looks a little bit too outdoorsy. Let's just say that. Not something that you can wear, to work, to grocery store, to whatever. Something like this, it just looks as classy as the boot can get, alright? If you're wearing, you just look like you are, working professional, alright? Maybe you work somewhere in a construction, in a factory, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yes, it does look quite classy compared to a lot of stuff that is out there in this category. And I think this really does help with the decision quite a lot, because something that you can wear on a daily basis is most likely something that you will end up being in that survival situation, because obviously survival situations, they don't happen with a warning, they just happen, so you not always have time to go back and change, and you end up with something that you already wear. And this you can be wearing full time because of the looks. So I think that is one of the awesome things about it. Obviously there's GORE-TEX waterproofing. The outsole is quality, even though not my favorite, it's still quality. It's 100% leather. And let's move on actually to the very last criterion here, criteria number 8, price. It is definitely on the pricier side. $225, definitely on the pricier side. Is it worth it? Well, if you consider the build quality, 100% leather, again, GORE-TEX. GORE-TEX is always expensive. Always. Anything you find with GORE-TEX is going to be on the pricier side. If you consider all of this, yes. But with that being said, in that price range, in $225, there's a lot of stuff, especially if you're looking for something specifically for hiking outdoors purposes. If you're looking for that purpose, there's a lot of stuff. I have the whole playlist here, hiking boots. Check that out. Maybe you will find something that is even better for yourself, and you will be able to save some money and find something that fits you just the best. I've done a lot of reviews on this channel. But as it is, $225, yeah, definitely. I think with all the features, with the quality and all of that, it's definitely worth it. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about this boot? What do you think about this review? If you have any requests for reviews, drop them in the comments below and I will be happy to address them. As always, thank you very much for watching. This was Ultimate Survival Gear. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.